Hi there, this is Freeway Crypto. A lot of people have been leaving comments talking about impermanent loss and also the price of the MEX and EGLD tokens. I mean, there's some people saying that they're not earning any money; it's going down. Well, that's because the price of EGLD has dropped from an all-time high that it was last week. I'm kind of urging people to stop looking at the dollar value at the moment, because that's like saying you bought Bitcoin at 64k and all of a sudden it's down 10 grand now. So it's a bit irrelevant at the moment. You need to be looking at the amount that your LP tokens have increased by. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, click the link in the right hand corner now, top right hand corner, and that'll show you the video I did this morning where I talked about the actual value of the LP tokens increasing. Now, for impermanent loss, in the description of this video and the one before, I've put this link to a video by Phil Lee, and he explains impermanent loss much better than I can. Basically, if you're not withdrawing from the liquidity pool, you're not going to lose anything. So don't do that. Also, I put a link to Crustless Crypto, and he's talking about the potential value of EGLD and MEX. And quite rightly, at the moment, MEX doesn't really have a proper value because it's being minted at the moment, which is kind of what we're doing here. The value now is super low. So the goal now is to just get as much MEX as possible. I should have any second now, I should have 100 EGLD that I'm going to put into my farm. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Just before I do that, if you're watching this either on Sunday or Monday, be aware that if you see the charts I do, I'm using TradingView, and there's a 60% offer for Cyber Monday sale. I think if you use my link in the description, I'm not entirely sure about this, but I've put a link to TradingView in here as well. And if you use my link, you will get $30 off. Now, I'm not sure if that goes on top of the Black Friday deal or Cyber Monday deal as well, but it's got to be worth trying anyway. So here's a link here. It's about the fifth one down in the description. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to put some EGLD into the Denver strategy. Now, I'm actually going to be adding to my farms here, but if you're doing it from scratch, this is exactly what you would do. Right, the first thing you need to do is to go to the link in the description for the Maiar app. If you haven't got it already, get the Maiar app on your phone and buy some EGLD. I'd buy it today because I don't think you're going to see this prices this low for a long time, probably never again, to be honest. I know it's gone up a little bit in the last week, and it's come down a reasonable percentage in the last few days. It's actually come down about minus 25%. I would buy some EGLD right now and get it into your Maiar app. And then you come over to a computer and go to maiar.exchange and click connect. I'm connecting with the Maiar app. So on your phone on the Maiar app, at the bottom in the center, if you tap that menu button, there's then an option for Wallet Connect, and you basically scan the QR code on maiar.exchange and it will log you in. Now, once you're logged in, you can see the status of your Maiar account here. At the moment, I have $63 worth of EGLD, and if you've got any farms set up, you'll see them down here. Now, although you could probably do the Denver strategy with a very small amount of EGLD like this, the problem is that you won't be earning enough to compound those initial gains. So you won't be getting the crazy percentages people with larger amounts are doing. So I would suggest getting as much EGLD as possible. I've got some that's unstaking right now in the Maiar app, so that should be available any minute now. Okay, so now you can see I've got 100.1573 EGLD. I appreciate this is quite a lot of money, but the process should be similar for smaller amounts. I think I started off with 4 EGLD. Now, at the moment, this exchange sometimes disconnects like that. If it does, just connect again. If you're actually in the middle of something, it does seem to carry on even though you've disconnected. And what I've had to do is click disconnect on the phone and then reconnect. I believe this is a bug they're trying to sort out right now, but for the moment we just have to live with it. Okay, so now I'm logged in again. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to swap, and I'm going to swap half my EGLD for MEX. The maximum I've got is 100.1473. So let's say I'm going to swap 50. Right, make sure I get this right because this is obviously a lot of money. And I'm going to go swap. And then on the Maiar app, you will get some things that you need to confirm. So if you confirm everything on your phone, it then says swapping tokens. And then it says swap complete. You can check this is done if you come up here. You can see that I've now got 50 EGLD and I've got all this in MEX. So it's about $20,000 worth of EGLD, about $20,000 worth of MEX. Okay, so now I have to create liquidity. So I go add liquidity. And I just want to quickly check something. So, okay, I've got $20,346 worth of EGLD and I've got $20,221 worth of MEX. So I'm going to say max for the MEX there, and then that populates this here with 49.84. That's okay because it's good to have a little bit of EGLD left over to pay for the fees and things like that. So I go add liquidity and confirm this on my phone. Sign transaction, transaction signed, okay, adding liquidity. Obviously this is all quite scary because this is like a ginormous amount of money. Okay, so that's liquidity added. So now I can stake it. Now this is the important bit. This is the bit people get wrong and I wish they didn't. So right, the farm we're going to use is this middle one. There's three farms here. There's a straight MEX farm, there's the EGLD MEX farm, and there's the EGLD USDC farm. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the EGLD MEX farm because that's the LP tokens that I've just created. So I go stake. I'm going to select the EGLD MEX that I've just created. Now, the temptation here is everyone goes, oh, let's do it all. Let's do all that and then lock the rewards for a year and get 2 times the APR. If you do that, you will end up with locked MEX. You will end up with all locked MEX and you won't end up with any MEX. Now, the problem there is the way the Denver strategy works, you need half the amount of MEX to create new LP tokens, which you then reinvest. So what we do here, right, we put this on 33%, which is a third of all the LP tokens we've got. So that goes on 33%. We lock the rewards for a year because we want to produce LKMAX with this, and we go stake. Right, confirm that on Maiar. Sign transaction, transaction signed, adding farm stake. Okay, farm stake added. Now, with the remaining 2/3, what I want to do is select that. Now, I could do all of it this time because this is the other 2/3, and I'm not going to lock it because this is going to produce MEX that we will then harvest, create EGLD with, combine it with a locked MEX and create new LP tokens. So I'll go stake and confirm that on Maiar. Sign transaction, continue, sign transaction, and it says transaction signed. That should say adding farm stake. Ooh, okay. Failed sending transactions. Please refresh this page. Okay, I've not seen that before, so I'm going to refresh the page. I'm going to do a shift and that. Okay, so to check the status of things, let's have a look here. So it seems that I still have this 2/3 of the liquidity that I've not used yet. So let's try that again. So I'm going to go stake, select the token, max, not lock it, stake. Confirm that on Maiar. Sign transaction, transaction signed, adding farm stake. I've not seen that happen before. I don't think I have anyway. If it happens, don't panic. Okay, right, so now if I look at my farms, okay, so looking at my farms, now when I've been doing the harvesting before and compounding my gains, I've been using this pair of farms here. Now the fact that I use brand new EGLD means that it went into these 2 farms. So if you've only done this from scratch, you'll only see these 2 farms. So this is basically, this is an EGLD and MEX farm producing locked MEX, and this is an EGLD and MEX farm producing MEX. Now what I'll do next is I'll let these run for a little while, then I'll do a harvest and you can see how you compound your gains. Okay, so this has been running for a few minutes now, and my earned MEX is now up to $126. You need each farm to have earned at least $20 before you can harvest, but they all have now, so I can harvest them all. So I'm going to get 71,697 locked MEX and 71,303 MEX. I'd normally like this to be slightly more MEX than locked MEX, just so I can be sure that I've got all the MEX I need to convert into EGLD. This was probably because I was a little bit late starting the unlocked MEX one, but let's harvest it and see what we got. So as usual, confirming on your Maiar app, signed transaction, transaction signed, harvesting all rewards. Okay, that's all the rewards harvested. So then what I need to do is to go to swap, and then I want to swap the MEX that I've just got. I want to swap all of that into EGLD. So I'll just go swap, confirm that on Maiar, continue, sign transaction, transaction signed, okay. So you can see swapping tokens. So you get the idea now that I've got the MEX and I'm converting it to EGLD. So then I've got EGLD and locked MEX to combine to create new LP tokens. Okay. So I go to liquidity and go add liquidity, and I go to LK MEX. Now it says select token here, so I'm going to go for the large amount that I've just changed, and I'm going to use all that. And here you want to check that you've got enough EGLD there. It looks like I have got 0.15 there. I've actually got 0.46 in there, so I can do that. Go add liquidity, confirm that on Maiar, sign transaction, continue, sign transaction, transaction signed, adding liquidity. Liquidity added. So now I can just go stake. And this is the same process as before. So what we're doing, we're selecting the EGLD MEX that we've just produced. We're going to use 33% of that will be locked, stake, sign transaction, transaction signed, adding farm stake. Okay, farm stake added, and then we need to add the rest. So that's that one there. I can say max because that's the other 2/3, and I leave this unlocked. I want it to produce MEX. So I go stake, sign transaction, okay. Okay, it says adding farm stake. Right, okay, so now if we look at the farms, there they are. They're all fairly well balanced, earning fairly equal amounts. It's all looking good. And that, for the first 6 months, or until this APR drops down to 150, is the Denver strategy. Now, I'll show you why this works. I mean, people are saying, oh no, the APR's dropped down massively. Now, the point is, this APY, where it says greater than 10,000%, the reason being, right, is because if the APR, which doesn't even include the LP rewards, is 1,157, the APY is still greater than 10,000%. Now that is assuming it's calculated on the current rates and compounding once a day. Now if you've got a large amount, you're going to be compounding much more than once a day. That is why it works. That's why we're going to have such massive gains. Okay, none of this was financial advice. Please don't do what I'm doing just because I'm doing it. If you're not sure about anything, just don't do it. Just buy EGLD and hodl it. I'm sure it'll go up in value, but I'm sure this is a way to make a lot more money. Now, if anybody asks me again how to do it and stuff, I'm just going to send them back to this video because I think I've explained it all here. This was adding to my existing farms, but this is exactly the same as if you're starting from scratch by buying EGLD and setting up the Denver strategy. And I think it took about 10 minutes. This is Saver Crypto saying enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you on Monday when I'm going to add another 200 EGLD to this farm. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, I'll see you on Monday. And if you've enjoyed the video, please do like, subscribe, leave a comment, tick the notification bell and tell your friends.